Welcome to the Becoming. My name is Dr. Curvins Clement, and on this channel, I help people become the person that they've always wanted to be and struggled to become. And so today is very different because today is Q&A day. And so what Q&A day is where I respond to one of your questions that you requested. And so today we are answering a question about the last name. The last name. Now, this is a very sensitive subject for me because me and my wife went through this situation. I'm going to read this question and then we'll get right into it. All right. So here is what the person wrote in. And I'm going to be creating a video where I show you how to do this very thoroughly. So it's not complicated. There's a link in the description, in the channel description, where you can click on the link and then drop a question in there. And I will use anonymous names, all that type of stuff. So you are totally fine. I know how to do confidentiality because I do that every day. Okay. So please understand that I will keep you private and I will use alternative names, just like I'm doing on this question here, to keep your business while you help people that are listening to this podcast as well. All right. Very good. So let's get into it. So the question is, hey, Dr. Clement, or what they wrote in. Hey, Dr. Clement, my name is Marcus, and I've been married to my wife, Alicia, for 2 years. We have a good marriage overall. She's loving, supportive, and committed to our future. But there's one issue. I haven't been able to shake. She still hasn't taken my last name. Before we got married, I told her it would mean a lot to me. She says she was open to it, but needed time because her name is connected to her career and family identity. I respected that. But now 2 years have passed and she still uses her maiden name everywhere. I know some people may say it's just a name, but for me, it feels deeper. I grew up seeing marriage as two people becoming one family, and her taking my name felt like a symbol of that. Since she hasn't, I sometimes wonder if she's holding back, even though I know she loves me. I don't know. I don't want to pressure her or make her feel like I'm trying to erase who she is. But I also don't want to keep pretending it doesn't hurt. I think what I really want to I think what I really want to feel I think I'm sorry, y'all. This look is it just got the best of me. I think what I really want is to feel chosen and fully claimed as her husband. How can I tell my wife that this hurts my feelings without making it sound like an ultimatum? And how do I know if this is really about the name or something deeper inside of me? I'd appreciate your feedback. All right. Very good question. Like I alluded earlier, this was something that me and my wife went through, and it was a horror ordeal because I'm Haitian and I grew up with that. Um, do you want to call it patriarchal or old fashioned, where I had a deep desire for my wife to take my last name. And so I completely understand this struggle, right? Because I think for men, there is a symbol and a chosen, like you clearly communicated in this question, where we want to feel chosen. And that's one of the ways that you can feel chosen is by your wife choosing your last name. And so one of the things that I will ask is, have you explored this conversation with her, or has it been inside your head? Right. And the question I also want to ask is, has she been open to having hard conversations? Because had, if she's been able to have hard conversations, then this is anxiety. It's not fear, right? Because she has proven to you that her capability of having hard conversations. So I would ask that question if I was sitting in front of you. The other thing that I would want you to reflect on, because at the end of that question, you ask, is this something deeper? Now, very great question, because what I would ask or explore further with you is, tell me more about what the name symbolizes for you. Now, you did communicate it, and that is a way that you feel that she has shed her family and is coming to you as and creating this oneness. And so I would start off this conversation again. If I was sitting across from you, what I would first start off is exploring with you about, where does this come from? What does this mean to you? And what would it do for you if she chose to change her last name to yours? Right. The other thing I would do is start exploring with her about what's the hindrance, right? Because one of the things that I had to process in my situation was some of the feelings that my wife was going through, and having to process that, and how our relationship was impacting her willingness to change her last name. And so that could be a thing where there may be some elements that are impacting her that she's uncomfortable to share with you, that she's just avoiding it altogether by not changing her last name. And so I would start off by asking her, is there any hindrance on you changing your last name? And what are the things that we can do together to create a sense of peace and comfort to you changing your last name? And so that's one of the things that I would say. And it's funny because recently I was listening to a video where someone was talking about this, where the wife was giving a whole bunch of reasons to why she hasn't changed her last name. Now, the other side of this is that there may be a situation where she just doesn't want to change her last name. And that may be challenging, right? Where she is not interested in changing her last name. And if that is what the situation is, then that is something that we have to have a conversation about. And that's what I would invite you to do, right? And that there's no real reasons why she doesn't want to change her last name, but simply that she doesn't want to change it. And so one of the things that I would invite you to do is to think about, what are some other ways that, or modern ways that, you can still feel honored with it not being her completely dropping her last name. For example, there are people out there who hyphenate their names, right, their last names. There are some people out there who put their last name as their middle name and incorporate your last name to it. So there are different ways that you can feel incorporated into her as y'all becoming one. And that may be your situation, right? Where there has to be a level of compromise. And so I would also explore with her, the are these other ways more suitable for her, right? And so you talked about how I didn't want to come off as stating an ultimatum, or coming off controlling, is what I hear underneath that. And the way that I would avoid that is by asking more questions than talking, right? And so first, I would like for you to share about, what does this mean to you? What does it bring up for you? What emotions um, are you navigating regarding her haven't changed her name for 2 years? Like, speaking into that. And then from that point of view, I would just start asking more questions than talking, right? So exploring her background, like what are her thoughts about changing her last name and all these different things. And so, we do live in a world right now where women are trying to embody a sense of empowerment that was restricted in the past. And so there might be an aspect of that she is wanting. And there are some people in certain family dynamics where there's only um, women, right, in their family. And so they want to carry on their father's name by keeping it. And so there's just so many elements that I want to ask her about that if you do, I think that will be a very fruitful conversation than you coming off with either you changing your last name or I'm leaving, right? I think that is going to lead you straight into an argument and nothing fruitful is going to come out of that. And so that is my response to your question. Thank you so much for writing in, and I'm looking forward to answering the next question. You'll be seeing a video drop on the screen or show up on the screen. So be on the click on that. And if you got something out of this Q&A day, please drop it in the chat. I would also invite you to drop it in the chat. What are things that I didn't ask? What are things that you would recommend as someone listening to this video? And so drop it in the chat. And if you have any questions as well, you can also drop it in the chat as well. Okay. But again, like I said, I will do a video showing how to submit a question for you to be included on this channel. All right. Thank you so much. Again, change is possible. Please like and subscribe.